Hi, this is kind of run through of how to save and reload SystemX files, SysEx, using Midi on a Mark 1 DX7 with a grey matter E card. So basically the grey matter E card gives you more banks of storage. So if you're on a normal DX7, you've got your presets banks 1 to 8, and then you've got external banks. So look, let's get it into play mode. Yeah, so you've got internal banks. So these internal banks are the extra ones that you get from 0 to 9 with the E card. So basically I've got this machine out of storage. I've had it since new, I think. Yeah, since new, in the 80s, and it's been in store for about 20 odd years, but I've got it out, got it working. I had to change the battery, and I got the presets, the original presets installed. I think I had to go to an engineer to get that because he had a ROM. I haven't got any, I've lost the ROMs, and so got it all up and running, but all of these internal banks, they're all corrupted. So the main aim of the game for me was to get them filled up with sort of third-party SysEx patches, so you can kind of, populate it really. And the horrendous journey I had trying to do it, because like the grey matter manual, it was kind of written in the days before the SysEx was kind of mainstream. So although it does give you a bit of information, it was a bit vague to say the least. And I've lost the original manual, so I had to work from something I downloaded offline, and then I had to kind of format it all up so all the pages are in the right order and in the right kind of format to read. Anyway, so this video is going to show you how to get this saving and reloading files, and I'll put it in chapters on YouTube so that so you can just jump to the bit you want or sort of go right through it. So it's going to be a bit waffling. So the first thing I found was all the internal banks 0 to 9, the E card gives you, they're all corrupted, so they didn't have anything on them. So what I found eventually is I had to reset them all. So I dug around the internet and found out how to do that. So I'll run that through now. So hopefully you might be able to sort of see that. I'll put the pages up so you can perhaps read them. But basically you have to reset them. So to do that, you choose your bank. Let's say, well, I've got some of these populated now, so let's go to one that I haven't populated yet. So sorry, so that's the E2 bank. So once you've chosen your bank using a data slider or your pluses and minus, yes and no's, you choose your bank, but you've got to always make sure it's active by pressing one of the patches. So now we've got this here. We had nothing before. It says initial voice, so that's because it's been reset. So I reset all of the banks, and that's like a one stage process actually, but you have to do 3 things. So what you do is the E card, where you had like on a normal DX7, you press the function and then you had your 32 kind of buttons to choose the function. With this E card you choose function, then press the operator, and then you can scroll through the various pages that gives you. So that would normally be the first one, that's called the function page. Then you've got the MIDI page, memory page, scale page and keyboard. So to reset it, let's have a quick read of stuff I'm doing here. Click the DX function button, follow the DX operator, and you want the memory page. So we're on the memory page, and click button 19. Then you've got your erase patch map, which should say yes on the thing. Are you sure? Yes. Press the button 19 again. Then you've got erase physical presets, I suppose. Press the yes again. Are you sure? Yes again. And once more on button 19 of the memory page, erase bank, and it's giving you the bank 2 because I already set that bank 2 and made sure it's active by pressing any one of the kind of buttons. And I do want to delete that, so I'll do well, yes. So are you sure? And then yes again. So that now, if you go into play mode, that takes you out of the function pages, and if you like press the any one of the patches, and you'll get a more or less like a sine wave, and display says initiate voice. So anything corrupted on those internal banks, you do that for the 9 of them, 0 to 9, and then you've got like a nice clean, ready to go banks, so you can actually load data into them. So that kind of does that. So next thing you want to do is you want to load, really. This is save. Sorry. You're going to want to load a bank. So I've done a list here. I'll run it through with you. But to do that, you're going to need to get the banks. So I've downloaded a load of banks from Dave Benson's DX7 page. If you scroll about there, it's let's get this in so I can work it. You can scroll down and you've got patches, so you can sort of download them. So let's presume, well, I have downloaded some, so I've done that. And then you need a program. So we're on the Mac here, called SysEx Librarian. So I've already got it loaded, so I can't come out of that page. Well, might as well click it. And that's this one here. So it's pretty simple to use, and I guess if you're on a Windows, you just have get a librarian that will work for Windows, and it's the basics will be the same, be a different program. But what I'm going to show you with the actual DX7 with the E card, getting the data to and from, that's what's been a little bit difficult to find. So anyway, first of all, so you got that ready. So first of all, you got to get your DX7 ready to do that receiving, isn't it? We've got to get a file into the DX7 so that we can then test the saving. So I've got a file in here which I've copied across from the download from the Dave Benson page. So we call it base 1. So the intention is to load that into the DX7. So we're on the internal bank 2. So we'll stay there. So now you've got to get your DX7 into a condition where it can actually receive this data. So I've made a list. So the first thing is to turn off internal memory, and then you set the MIDI in and out channel, Then you enable SysEx transmit and receive. You choose your bank, which you've done, and basically that's really it. And all you do is you, from the librarian on the Mac, you kind of click it to play and it loads in. So let's run through this with you. So turn off internal memory protect. That's memory page, so we do the function operator till we get to the memory page, which is that one, and press button 31. And cartridge, the memory protects off, press that 31 again, and internal off. They'll probably most likely be set to on when you kind of switch your DX7 on. So make sure the memory protects off for internal. Then set your MIDI channels. So now we've got to jump to the MIDI page. So we're already in the function pages, so we just press the operator button till we get to the MIDI page. That one, and buttons 1 and 2. So button 1 is MIDI in control, set that to channel 1. Button 2, MIDI out control, set that to button 1 as well. So right, now we've got to enable the SysEx transmit and receive function. So from the keyboard page, so we're on that operator select page still, so press it again, and we want the keyboard page. That's that one. And button 2, SysEx filters, they want to be set to on. So that's that button 2 on the keyboard page. Set that with your slider or the yes command. So we want system filters on, and then we go to button 3. SysEx is currently off, so we press the yes button to have that on. That kind of facilitates System X working. Right, choose your bank that you want to do. Well, we've already done that. We're already on. We come out and we go into the play mode. Right, we're already on bank 2. So that's the one we want to use. Just press any patch, and we know that that's set. That's kind of at the active bank. So all you do now, let's make sure. Yeah, all you do now is so that's kind of ready to go, ready to receive data. So back to the Mac. You choose the file you want to transfer to the DX7. This, I say, this is one of the third-party sound banks from the Dave Benson page. And I just basically downloaded it and I dragged it in from the into there, like from the Finder, and dragged it in. So all you do then is click the play button. That's sending the data. The DX7 comes up with that AU, which means it's been successful. So you're in your play mode. Press any one of the 1 to 32 patches, then it'll play. So this particular bank is all basses. There's a really good one on here actually. See if I can find it, a Moog one. Not be able to find it. Here we go. This one, I really like it. Anyway, that's by the by, I suppose. So now we've got the data into the DX7. So one of the things you want to do is save a bank. So I had a bit of trouble with this one because just because there's so many. I'll just put this down a sec. Okay, so yeah, you want to save a bank, a little bit more complicated. So only because you're jumping about these function pages. Well, on a normal DX7, you're just always on just a function page, and everything you need is just one or two buttons. But with this system, it's a little bit more complicated. Hopefully, this will kind of sort it all out for you. It took me quite a few days to get it. So, to save a bank, turn off the internal memory protect, which we've done for the loading. So let's, button 31 on the memory page. Make sure the internal memory protect's off. Set the MIDI in and out channel, that's the MIDI page, buttons 1 and 2. Set the MIDI out control to TX. Now you can set it to TX or DX. So you've got that MIDI page, button 8, I'll just go there. So into the functions, MIDI page and button 8. Button 8, and then you've got system mode DX or TX or normal, but get to that system mode. So you've got your, to change it, you do your plus or minus TX or DX. So leave it at DX. I haven't experimented with what the two do, but I had it set to DX to TX in the first place, but I was getting problems when I saved it. I couldn't reload what I'd saved. So anyway, that's something you might want to muck about with, but the TX or the DX works. So then enable the system X transmit and receive like we've done before. Keyboard page button 2. Make sure the MIDI in filters is on. Button 3. Make sure the MIDI out filters SysEx is on. Now this is the bit that really took a lot of finding. Turn off the DX7 active sensing, MIDI page button 8. So we're still in the MIDI page. So button 8. Button 8. And you have to just keep pressing that button 8 till you find active sensing. So button 8 again, button 8 again, button 8 again. MIDI active, make sure that's off. If you leave that on, what happens is when you save it to the program on the Mac, it's active sensing, so it's just sending data out all the time, and it seems to like just sort of muck the file up. So it's and it doesn't look like if you look at the contents of the file, it doesn't look like the third-party files. So that was the thing that kind of was like really quite difficult to find, and there's nothing in the manual about it, or anything that I could find online. So we've done all that. So we turned off the DX active sensing. Choose the internal bank. So we'll stay where we are. We go into the play button. We'll stay where we are, bank 2. So we're now going to send this back to the Mac SysEx librarian, and then we're going to reload it again, so I'll show you it all works. So when you want to transmit, you go to your SysEx librarian on the Mac, and you want to choose the record many. I'll just cancel that for a sec. That's waiting for the SysEx message. But the other thing you need to do there is choose where your MIDI is coming from. So in this case, I should have explained this earlier, but we've got the MIDI in and out from the DX7. MIDI in and out, and that goes to interface UR22, and it goes into the back of there, out to in to out. So that's going by a USB into the Mac. So one of the things you've got to do on this SysEx librarian is you've got a choice of, well, it depends on your system really, but you've got, you know, the sources really. So I've set mine up for DX7, but it's generic. It's it works for me other synths as well, but I've just named it DX7. So that's the first thing I was trying. So you need to choose your destination, and then you can record many, which records a bank basically, or you know, whatever capabilities your synths have got. But so you do that, and then it's waiting for the data. And the way you send the data from the DX7 is ensure you got the bank activated. So we're bank 2, we know we're activated. We're still in just play mode, but then we go to the memory page, function, operator, memory control, button 1, transmit status, hang on, press that button 1 again, transmit bank, and it says bank 2 because that's the bank we're on. So you just basically press the yes button, and that transmits the data. It just takes a few seconds, it's done. So back on the Mac, we've now got done. We've got an untitled file. So it's selected. I'm going to press enter on the Mac and just write just test. So we differentiate it. Okay, so that's there. We're going to have to test it. That we've loaded it onto the DX7 successfully. That was, you know, that bank of bases, and we've sent it back to SysEx, and now we want to test that one that we've sent back will load, because that's where I was having trouble before. I was saving the bank but it wouldn't reload, and it's because I had that active sensing on when I was setting up to save a bank. But we'll just go to internal bank number 2 we're on, so we get into the play mode and we want another bank, so we'll just do bank 1. Sorry, I was mucking about with the pluses and minuses. So now we've got bank 1, and to activate it we press 1. Now because I've done that reset before on all the banks, I'm on this initial voice. So all we've got to do really is go to the SysEx librarian and press play, and then it should load that. In fact, we'll do another different instrument bank this time. This time we'll do this one, best bank. Select it and play. So back at the DX7, we've got that AU message, which means it's successful. If it's not successful, you get a different message on. Yeah, I think you get something like an AX or something like that, but anyway, you soon find out. So to actually hear it, you press any one. You're still in that play mode, so you press any one of the presets, and there you got a nice bank of sounds. And that's really it. What I haven't done is just do like where you want to send one patch, send it from the DX7 and then load it to the DX7. But there's lots of there's quite a few things on the internet, on YouTube, how to do that with a normal DX7, and if you just kind of follow that but use the settings that I've setting out here, you know, like it gives you this gives you like the equivalent with an e-card of what they're asking for. It's a lot simpler on a straightforward DX7, but that's the way to do it. I think I've explained everything. Yeah. So there wasn't one other thing really. You're only getting with the e-card. You don't seem to be able to change the presets with using this method. You know, where you got your kind of. So if you do have to change your battery and you lose all your data, I can't remember whether the presets come back because there's a ROM chip in the DX7 that contains them, or whether you need a cartridge. You know, luckily I had a local engineer who had a cartridge, so he kind of just put those presets in, but they're not the original factory ones. So I've just slid that down. So I'm on a preset 1 bank. Activate it, and that first bank don't seem to be standard. But if you go to the next bank, press it, it gets into all the normal original DX7 patches. Anyway, I think that's it. Hopefully it helps.